Alright, this is my monthly reflection video for December 2023. The reason that this video is late is because I had to finish and upload the previous video before I could start making this video. The reason that it took me a while to finish and upload the previous video is because near the end of the initial recording for my previous video, an alarm had went off on my phone, which stopped my phone from continuing the recording, and so I had to start a second recording in order to finish the video, and then I had to figure out how to merge the two separate videos together into one complete video. And it took me a long time to be able to figure out how to do that. I had to figure out what my options were. Lots of options involved either a complicated setup or having to pay money, and I wanted a free and simple option, and so eventually I discovered this thing called Microsoft Clipchamp that allowed me to merge the two videos together for free and also without there being a watermark on the video. When I am not feeling so well and when I am very tired and I have to figure something out involving an unfamiliar situation with technology, I end up getting overwhelmed and my mind becomes avoidant of trying to figure out the issues and what to do about them, and so I end up getting distracted. And so me getting distracted a lot and becoming avoidant of the issues, I ended up taking a lot longer than I had hoped to get things done, and I had to deal with download speeds, and overall that process was very stressful, very frustrating, and the timing just seemed to be really bad. I wanted to get things wrapped up before the new year, but I couldn't do that because of a lot of things that happened. However, I wouldn't say that what happened was a complete waste of my time, because I did get to learn some interesting and potentially useful things. Anyways, I'm not sure how much I'm going to actually be able to remember for this video. I've had a lot of issues with my memory recently. I've been behind for a while on making videos, as well as reflecting, and my mind has been overwhelmed by lots of information that my mind does not know how to organize, and so it is difficult for me to remember a lot of things and to make sense of a lot of things. And I've been trying to remember things so that I could organize my thoughts about things better, but I've just been so busy that I haven't really made the time to do that. So I've been trying to reorganize my priorities to be able to make more time for reflecting. But what I've noticed is that when I try to do that, I end up being behind on other things that I want to do, and so I end up changing priorities and switching from one thing to another thing, and then when I catch up on one thing, I'm behind on the next, and I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle of jumping from thing to thing, trying to catch up on one thing and then getting behind on the next, and then catching up on that thing and then being behind on the next thing and switching to that to try and catch up on that, and so on and so forth. I don't know if I said that too many times. My bad if I did. Anyways, I end up being tired and not being able to get things done on time, and so I get behind on something, and then I get more energy, and then I use up that energy to try and get caught up again, and then even if I do get caught up, it's hard to stay caught up because I'm so low on energy by the time that I get caught up again. And then if I try to force myself to get those things done anyway, then it doesn't tend to work out very well for me. I tend to not feel very well, and I tend to be in a lot of pain, mentally and physically. And I don't know if the video picked up the sounds of me clicking the pen that I'm holding in my right hand, but if it did, my bad. I'm gonna probably need to get this pen out of my hand so that I don't do that. Anyways, I thought that December was going to be easier than November, but I think December actually ended up being more difficult than November was. I had my birthday that happened in December. That was nice. I had to work that day. I didn't really get to do much celebration for my birthday on my actual birthday, but I did get to have some sort of a celebration. It wasn't really a party. I just had some sort of cake, and I don't really remember much about it other than that. Unfortunately, I don't really remember much of the details immediately of a lot of things. It's not that the details are just gone necessarily, but more so the details are probably buried in my mind and I don't really know how to access them at the moment. I would probably have to spend a lot of time trying to think to be able to remember these details. And I just don't have enough time for that right now. Anyways, there was Christmas. I got to see my brother. And I didn't get to see him for Thanksgiving, so that was nice to get to see him again for Christmas. I was overwhelmed by the stress of having to go to 2 different places for Christmas, and also I tend to not have the correct reactions when trying to open up presents, and so that ends up with, or that typically results in someone getting upset or mad at me for not having the correct reactions when I open up presents. They tend to think that I'm ungrateful. And for some reason, some of my presents, for some reason, I thought that maybe they were handed to the wrong person because I was surprised about what I had actually gotten. And that was embarrassing. But anyways, I'm glad that that mess is over with. And even though there are things I like about Christmas, there are things I don't like. And overall, I'm glad to have gotten it out of the way because that was tiresome and stressful for me. Even though I'm grateful that I got presents and grateful that I got to spend time with family and grateful that I got extra time away from work. There was New Year's. I didn't get to go to the New Year's party that I would normally get to go to because one of my friends that I normally go to the party with decided not to go to the party because he wasn't feeling well. And I also had to work that night. And my sister canceled her party, unfortunately. So I had to figure out what I was gonna do to celebrate the new year. And so I decided to stay up late that night with some of my friends on the Xbox, and it was alright. It wasn't the most fun time I've ever had for a New Year's celebration, but I thought it was better than nothing. Anyways, there was concerns that I had throughout the month. A lot of the videos I had made throughout December had a lot to do with issues that I had thought a lot about throughout the month. A lot of the videos I had made had a lot to do with things that were causing me a lot of stress throughout the month. And so I had decided to make those videos as a way to vent about those issues, but also try to organize my thoughts about them. Because I felt like my life was falling apart. And overall, the month was very chaotic for me. I had a lot of issues that seemingly came out of nowhere. I referred to them as curveballs. One of those issues was my rent raising. My rent raised by about a few $100s. That combined with me not getting a lot of hours at work and also not being able to work a lot of hours at work, that made things stressful for me, especially around Christmas time, because I had to figure out how I was going to be able to buy Christmas presents. And my mother kept bringing back up certain issues, and I just wanted to move on, and it was difficult to do so because my mother kept repeating herself a lot. And not long after she had finally stopped talking a whole lot to me about the rent problem, there was an issue with the plumbing with our apartment, and there was flooding that occurred, and so my mom kept repeating herself, stressing over and over about a potential plumbing bill. And so she kept going on and on about that over and over for a while, just like with the rent raise. And so that stuff took up a lot of my time and took a lot of my energy and contributed to me getting behind on a lot of things. And it just, every time we seem to work out an issue with one thing, another one seemed to pop up out of nowhere before I could get a break from it, from things like that. And I know there was some sort of appointment I had at some point during December. I think it was a psychiatry appointment, if I'm remembering correctly. I had that appointment, I think, a few days before my birthday, and I don't really remember. I don't really remember when. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Anyways, that week was very stressful. I had to work that same day. And if I'm remembering correctly, I might have also made a video that day. Maybe I didn't. I can't really remember. But anyways, I was so tired out from what had happened that week and what had happened at work that week and also what had happened at the psychiatry appointment. That week was a very stressful week. I don't feel like I accomplished much from that appointment other than getting another referral, and I had went to that place having thought that I was being sent to the place that I wanted to go where I could get diagnosed for some of my issues, but it turned out that that place apparently wasn't for that and that I needed to be referred to another place, and I may have to wait a while in order for me to get the help that I need. And so a lot of that stuff has just been taking up space in my mind, just contributing to the brain fog. And there's important phone calls I've been behind on making for a while, and ugh. Unfortunately, I didn't get to tie up all the loose ends that I wanted to tie up before the new year, and by that, I mean there were certain things that I had wanted to get done before the end of 2023 that I didn't get done. I got some of those things done, but I didn't get all of them done. And I wanted to be able to start 2024 having caught up with certain things, but unfortunately, I didn't get to catch up with my reflecting and making YouTube videos yet. But I did get to try out new things last month. And I got to try out the tripod that my sister had got me for, I think it was a Christmas present. And my previous video was the first video I had made using my tripod. This is the second video I've made so far using the tripod. I also downloaded OBS on my computer and learned more about how to use that. And even though I had wanted to make a Warframe video last year, I didn't get to do that, and so I plan on making it at some point during this year. And I don't know when I'll be able to actually make it, but now that I've learned more about OBS and my capture card and how to merge video clips together for free without a watermark, after I've learned more about those things, I am getting closer to being able to make that Warframe video. And so I also got new work shoes that are more comfortable, so that helps work to be easier for me. So that's nice. There were a lot of seasonal game events that I had wanted to take part in. There was a Warframe quest that had came out. There was a new Warframe event that's actually still going on. I haven't got to do as much with that stuff as I would have liked to yet, but and there was Ark Survival. I missed out on the Christmas event, unfortunately. There was a few Battlefield games that got taken off of Game Pass that I didn't get to do as much as I would have liked to before they got taken off of Game Pass. And then there was the GTA Online Christmas event that I missed out on. I don't know if it's actually still going on at the moment, but I saw something about a snowball launcher and I really wanted to get it, but I'm afraid I waited too long. Maybe I can check it out later and find out and hope that it won't take me too long to get it if it's still available, and if not, I'll have to wait until the next time it's available. But anyways, I am hoping that this month will be easier. I'm not sure what I'll do this month. I haven't came up with much plans yet for what I'm going to do this month. I just know that I'm able to do more than I was able to do previously with making YouTube videos, and so I really like that. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to make different kinds of videos that I've never made before. And first, before I do that, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do this month, because I have to be able to transition over from making a certain kind of videos to making another kind of videos. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do a complete switch over to only making a certain type of videos necessarily. I want to make a variety of kinds of videos, but I will end up having to get out of my comfort zone, and that may take a while. And it's also going to take me a while to get used to it and be able to do it faster, so that it doesn't take up too much of my time. Overall, I think some things got easier at work, some things got harder. I can't remember the specifics. At this point, I'm just trying to organize my thoughts about the month in general and trying to fit it all in this video. Not sure when I'll finish with that, but I think overall, a lot of these things that happened helped remind me about certain issues that I have, and these things that happened helped me to learn a lot of things. And even though a lot of the things that happened was unpleasant, perhaps it was unavoidable and necessary. But anyways, overall my memory problems got worse, and I'm still trying to help myself out with that. And so hopefully January will be easier. So that's it for this video. Peace.